LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I
filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Here, you're not the predator. You're the prey. 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 Prey.
Critics are saying it's epic, stunning, and breathtaking.
Many have come here. None have survived.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+, rated PG-13.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Kendra. We are the hosts of Camp Chaos, where we celebrate the wild ride of modern womanhood.
We are moms, but also so much more than that. Join us as we dish on motherhood, life's ups and downs, and all things pop culture that we know you want to talk about.
With special guests and expert insights, we're here to empower you through the chaos of everyday life. Consider this your ultimate escape from the hustle and bustle. And as always, parental guidance suggested.
Listen to Camp Chaos wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. We have just wrapped up our season of Aquarius Book Club, and we're preparing for our literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
So basically, this is, as like Amy said, we're preparing for our Akasif Silver Flames analysis, which starts on the 17th, a week after this episode airs. And we knew we wanted to do like a listener thoughts episode. And then very nicely, SJM for once planned around our schedule.
Yes, she aligned with us, which was so generous of her.
It was about damn time, frankly. So she did an interview on Call Her Daddy, and we are here to talk about your thoughts and our thoughts and every person's thoughts. And if you're listening to this and you have no idea, if I don't know if this is going to sound okay or not, or if like we keep looking in different angles, Amy and I are live on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Patreon. Pew, pew,
yep.
pew, pew.
Yep. And our real platform where all the magic happens, Riverside, which is transmitting, which has been kind of a mindfuck to try and figure out.
Yeah, but it's like we won some and we compromise some.
Yep, that's right. That's
you
right.
know, so if Patreon or anyone or Instagram is like, what are you doing? And I'm looking down, that's because we gave up on trying to live stream through TikTok, or did TikTok give up on us? And so we're live streaming from our phone, which is down here. We'll try to read comments, but honestly, we tried our best. We're trying our best. With that, let's dive in. Amy, you listened to the interview this morning. It's currently Friday, the 6th, just a couple days after. I was about to say we didn't really talk about it, but we kind of did talk about it.
The only thing that we really said to each other, I started it, which is, if you know us, we try really hard to not talk to each other before we record, because then we can have genuine reactions on the podcast. And that's really important to us because we're terrible at faking it, or at least I'm terrible at faking it.
No, your reactions are too good, too pure.
Too pure. So I texted Jack this morning while I was listening to the Call Her Daddy. And my text was, I'm trying really hard to not cry at the gym right now.
Yeah.
Because I was listening while I was lifting weights.
Just imagining like she went through so much while writing Silver Flames, and it's like squat deeper. Yeah, I watched it live as it was happening. I never sent you my notes. My bad.
That's okay. I took some notes.
Okay. It was like one of those moments where like I just shut down too hard. I just shut down too much. It honestly felt like some kind of Taylor Swift announcement. Like we were going to get a second album. Like this was the same feeling when Taylor announced that Evermore was coming out right after Folklore, or like, a month or two went by. And then she was like, by the way, a new album. I mean, and the same thing, just like that exciting feeling it captured it perfectly. I mean, where do we even begin? I guess the general excitement. We have ACOTAR 6, 7, 8 scheduled for 6 and 7. We have new books on the 27th or 29th, whatever it is, and 12th, January 12th. Have feelings.
Yes! Oh my God. You know, our friend Kate Golden, we've talked a lot about her on the podcast. She's the only author I know of that's done back-to-back, like 6-month releases. This isn't even 6 months. This is less than 3 months. Crazy to me. I love that for us. I love that for her because she got, to take control of how this book is going to be published, how it was separated out into multiple volumes. I love that. It blows my mind because it's so absurd for the publishing industry.
I mean, that just shows like how big she is, that she gets to come in and be like, I'm writing a book and I'm going to do it in my way. And one of the things I'm most excited about is the way that she talked about writing, which I was like, maybe one day we do get to talk to her, because she was saying like, I want to redo the concept of a novel. Like, what does that look like? If I'm not restrained by the publishing industry, by what is expected, what does a novel look like for me? And what is it beyond just one long continuous story? Like, is it like, what does that look like? And I was talking about it with my roommate. She was like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have the book yet, but the concept of the novel is only a few hundred years old. And it's relatively new. It's not like when you think about the history of storytelling, and novels have not been experimented nearly enough with.
I think that's such a great point. I want to start by thinking of this in terms of publishing fan fiction, because in an online world, we are not bound by a physical book. We're not bound by a strict number of pages. So you can have epics that go on for 400,000 words, 500,000 words, something like absurdly long. And if we relish those epics online, we love them, we read them, we reread them, why can't something similar take place in physical form?
Yeah.
And what it is, what's limited this is the investment the publishing industry and publishers have to put into it. And up until this point, I think the question is, has anyone been worthy of that investment?
It's so funny because I feel like publishers, there are more authors that are worthy of that. The same way that, like, again, she reminds me so much of Taylor Swift right now, especially with the whole, like, she got her rights back. And what's fascinating is, like, if publishers were to just be a little bit more nimble, be willing to not follow the exact same cookie cutter structure. I mean, like, you and I are going through the querying process, and the query process is the most, like, I hate it so much, but you have to follow it in a very specific way. The publishing industry is just so stuck in its own place and its own traditions, I guess, that it's not willing to do that unless you're an SJM level. And I'm happy that she gets to be the one to just like flex it and to just be like, well, this is what I want to do, and you're going to get it. And she even said on the podcast that, like, in her best scenario, that the book, it's like, it's meant to be read in one go. Like, it's not meant to be broken up, but this is the best that she can do, is like trying to split it up a little bit. But I mean, just imagine if she had published all 3 books in one night.
The whole world would have stopped for at least 24 hours, maybe a little bit more. I think the only author to attempt this prior to SJM is really Brandon Sanderson. And what he did is basically he went in-house publishing. He created his own publishing unit so that he owns with his own team, that he can essentially do it all himself. And SJM, I don't blame her for not wanting to do that. I don't blame her. I actually applaud her for saying, no, y'all are my bitch. You're going to do what I say, and we're going to do it my way. And I think that's great.
Yeah, it blows my mind that she has that kind of like flex power.
Yeah, we've got a comment from a listener on TikTok who said, finally on Crescent City 3, so I'm rushing to finish so I can finally deep dive into all the theories. I love you.
Love you. It's mucho things. All right, so before we go reading listener thoughts or comments and everything, what are some of the big moments that had you gasping?
So I think I have maybe less than a dozen bullet points that really stuck out to me for the 2-hour episode. The very first one, and I'm going in order of the interview. The very first one is sex and plot. That because if books have sex, they are therefore diminished. and therefore they are not reading. I love that SJM and Alex were both like, the sex has purpose in the plot, right? Why are we putting down sex, which is a thing we all engage in, that the whole of humanity has engaged in since humans were created?
You have to have it in order to keep going. It's procreation.
Right. Exactly. Like, procreation is a natural part of living. Why are we cutting it out?
I know. It's the same way that people get freaked out when it comes to breastfeeding. Like, they just can't handle it. And that's because it just, pleasure depicted by women is not something that people know how to handle, or like men and the general patriarchal society, right? Because I think when SJM and other female writers, when they write it, and especially the way SJM talked about it, where it's like, it's a natural part of life and women's pleasure is just as natural and should be expected, versus, and I'm not saying every male book, but it's about power. Sex is about power. Sex is about ownership. Sex is about their pleasure. It never feels like it's necessarily like, this is just natural. This is what happens. It's just like, and this is how they get to claim their stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the fact that, and this is kind of woven throughout the interview, ultimately what it comes down to is SJM really believes in the power of women and the power of couples, like equal partners with shared power, even if their power looks different. And I think that is really disgusting to some members of our society, because
I just heard it's disgusting. I was like, okay, keep going. That's
to certain members of our species who believe sex is a tool to put women down, whereas these books use it as a tool to uplift women.
Yes.
And so if we're uplifting women through sex and plot, of course, the reaction for those who don't like that is to put it down.
I really like what you said, where it's true. SJM writes about the power of women and the strength of women, but the power and strength of a relationship. And I, just something about the way you said it and like what she was saying, I'm like, how hard is that to capture in reality, as well as books where you can have a woman who has fought for her own strength, her own independence, but is able to still maintain that through a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? Like, that's a difficult thing to depict. And I feel like she does depict that very well, because we always get books where they're still together. You know what I mean? Like, we get a little bit, it's not like they get together at the very end and we never know. We never hear from them again.
Right.
You get those moments and you get the time where SJM does establish them as a woman and as a woman in a relationship. Because those can be two very different people, and you want them to be able to go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think that's very well said.
Because both you and her and me all together.
All together now. Colleen and Camilla responded to the comment about what if SJM released all 3 books at once. Colleen said, I would need a week off if she did that. And Camilla said, I'm asking off the release dates. LOL. I will too.
I am too.
At this rate.
I so am too. Let's see. On Instagram, it looks like, because we're in portrait mode and Instagram's live is on vertical, they're only getting half of our faces. It is what it is. You guys are at least listening to an episode early. That's all I can give you.
I guess we could get our faces really close.
Let's see. Mrs. Northcutt says, I think there's probably a good correlation with Tale of Genji. Genji, that sounds familiar.
Is it in the anime?
I think so. Like strength, like length, sterilization, and infrequent publishing. Sorry about talking. I was thinking about the Tale of Genji too. First novel ever. It was written by a woman as well. Oh, do I not know that?
I didn't know that. Erin says on Patreon, I already requested off all the dates. My boss was like, why are you requesting off in January already? That's fair.
Really funny. It is that serious, Amy. I mean, like, you and I are going to have to truly just be like, I'm locked in. I don't want to speak to anyone. I can't afford to. I'm going to just lay in bed and listen to this. Rachel says, I think the interview proved the fandom is MAGA overthinking these theories. Or mega, sorry. I was like, you know what? Yeah, they are, aren't they? Some of them are, but I'm interview thinking that the fandom is mega overthinking theories. She was so thrown off by the rapid fire questions. I think she was faking some of them.
I do think there were some she just didn't want to answer.
Yeah.
Saying MAGA made me think, one of the things I walked away with, I think we'll talk about this throughout, but one of the things I walked away thinking was the fandom needs to give more grace in so many aspects of other fandom people, of SJM, of the books, of the characters. That was really, really prevalent in my thought. And one of the things that honestly was going to make me cry, like when she was talking about name pronunciations and Alex was like, I'm sorry if I get it wrong, and was talking about, Rysand versus Rysand. SJM was like, hey, you're a reader first. I don't care how you pronounce it. We all get it wrong.
So validated this entire interview. Like, do you know what I mean? Especially when she was talking about Silver Flames. You guys, we are recording episode 5 tomorrow. So the first 4 episodes of Silver Flames, we didn't know this interview was even happening. We didn't hear anything from it. It's like, are we smarter and better than others? Maybe. I don't know. It's I'm just
that's
saying
a way
that,
to sell it.
I mean, there was no way of me being humble with what I'm trying to say, so I figured just like lean all in. But it did make me feel really validated on some of the things that we were we've been defending.
Yeah.
Like we even talk about Rhys and the way that he's acting and the whole baby thing, and you and I were just like, can't we just have some sympathy? Because we make a connection early on in our Silver Flames analysis, which comes out on the 17th. We made the connection that Rhys and Nesta are very similar and that they are mirrors in many ways to each other, that they both reflect the worst in each other. And that's part of the reason why they can't stand one another, is that they see their worst. And through that, we ended up having more sympathy and empathy for Rhys, I think, like, because we love Nesta, and then being like, wow, actually they're really similar, allowed us to have more empathy towards Rhys. And the entire time I just was like, giant smug asshole on my couch. Like, I even posted, even when she was like, it was a 6 arrow, or like, and technically it was an arrow, but it was till 8. And I'm just over here when I was like, my point in my video originally was, she says, handed in first drafts. And I was like, you don't say draft. Like, I got into the linguistics of it, and people were like, you're crazy. And to which I say, fuck y'all, not the listeners, the randos. The random people who commented, because they were mean. I'll go find every single one of you. But it did make me feel very validated on what her opinions were on some things, where I was like,
yeah.
We are back from RomantasyCon, and every single part of my body is in pain except for my feet, thanks to my Gabby sneakers by Vionic.
There is something so special about wearing my Uptown sneakers that makes me feel cute, while also making sure I don't suffer in the process.
It just screams Taurus energy.
It really
you're
does.
Cute and you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh my God, feed your astrology sign.
What makes them so comfortable is Vionic's exclusive ViaMotion technology. Vionic shoes began by revolutionizing medical orthotics, and today they continue to use that science to engineer shoes that leave you feeling energized and confident all day, even when you're at a convention and you're walking day after day.
I don't think I've walked that much in such a long time, and there was one day where I wore different shoes and I regretted it immediately.
They even offer a 30-day guarantee. You can wear them to your convention, love them, or return them for a full refund within 30 days.
I might just be buying another pair for the next convention. We do have BookCon in April, and you can have your Vionics when you use code BookTalk at checkout for 15% off your entire order at vionicshoes.com when you log into your account. It's a one-time use only.
Vionic shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. So to that end, speaking about Rhys and Nesta, what the next thing that really stuck out to me was how SJM uses many of her experiences in her life, and those are reflected in the characters. It's not always the same context. It's not always, the same circumstances, but the experience and the emotions that she's grappling with in her own life are being grappled with on the page.
Yep.
And I think that's true for a lot of authors. When a book hits you as emotionally hard as some of the books we read, it's because, as SJM said, she was working through the trauma of her pregnancy through Rhys. She was working through her depression through Nesta.
Yep.
And I thought it's beautiful. It's tragic.
Yeah.
I think it also, without her saying it, I think it calls on us as readers to be a little softer when we're talking about these characters.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, SJM's just a human going through human things, just like the rest of us.
Her characters have always been so grounding and so human. The emotions, right? That's, you and I love character driven stories. That's why we're talking about this. Like, we're not talking about a book that's just all plot. Like, it would do nothing for either one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have these character driven stories without this depth to it. And SJM just brought so much depth to her characters. And let's talk about the pregnant elephant in the room, Farah's pregnancy. Again, I felt real smug of like, you and I have always said it makes sense of her character. Like, you and I have always said, hey, would I have liked her to have been a little bit longer? You know, does she have to have a kid so young? Maybe not. But like, we never doubted that it makes sense for her character.
Right.
And I loved her answer so much. And I've seen so many people talking about it online saying like, ooh, maybe I was an asshole. Maybe I went in too hard. And I think one of the things that, like what we were mentioning earlier, that society can't handle female pleasure. I think society can't handle female joy or female other, like the female, I don't want to say, figure out what
experience.
That's what it is. Yeah. Whether you want to have kids or not, like that is up to you. But I feel like there is this, like, there's no winning. Like when you become a mom, like, you know, you are suddenly, we talk about it in the mother curse, right? Like we talk about that whole experience of like, why are people so uncomfortable with it? And actually we were talking about the mother curse, and this breaks the mother curse because now you have Farah on the page, who is not a tyrant of a mother or a dead mother. I think that it's one of those moments where it's like, why is it that we have to, I'm saying we so that other people don't feel horrible. I'll say you. Why is it that, you know, people had such a visceral reaction to it? And there's a difference between saying, you know, I really wish like she had a little bit more life, but whatever. Like, okay. And if you have a wrist visceral reaction, it's normally because like it's a you problem.
You know, it's so interesting. What I appreciated about SJM was, you know, she said, Farah's story doesn't stop and motherhood is still part of a woman's story. And yes, I'm an individual who does not plan on having kids. I will never know what it's truly like to be a mother. Being a cat mom is the closest I will ever get. But I can appreciate that there is something really special about being a mother, and it's part of her journey, and she wanted to write about it. And that Farah's story isn't over by her being pregnant.
We condemn mothers so much where it's like, you know, you become washed up and that's your only priority and that's the only thing that you focus on, and you don't get to be a woman anymore. You don't get to be anything else. Like, you are a mother and that's it. And you have dreams.
Yeah. I think part of it, and I could be totally wrong, this is me guessing, I wonder to what extent the people who don't like pregnancy tropes is because they don't want to mix sex with motherhood in their smutty stories, right? They come to smutty stories to enjoy sex and that part of the female experience. They don't come to smutty stories to experience motherhood. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point.
Yeah.
But
something
I guess, that would be a question I would have for people who don't like pregnancy tropes.
For SJM to have gone through such a traumatic pregnancy and then birthing experience, and then to really have that sobering moment of like, if she didn't live in the time that she lived in, she could have died. That is a near death. That is a near death experience. Like, women have, I mean, especially in America, or like the death rate of mothers is really bad for a developed country.
It's really bad.
It is a near death experience. Like, we don't treat it as the injury that it is, and like the toll that it takes on a woman's body. And the fact that she worked through that trauma in Silver Flames, chilling. It's genuinely very chilling.
I think it was also powerful. And of course, my note is like, male doctors are assholes. How she was a woman, and she's very open about this, right? She's had eating disorders. She has body dysmorphia. And then a lazy male doctor decides to disfigure her body in a way that's convenient for him. And to disfigure someone who already has body dysmorphia, and for every birth she has to give from there on out has to be disfigured again and again, and it can never be reduced. Like, it has to be the same cut every time.
Yeah.
That's awful. I hope she sued him. Like, I hope she went back and sued him, because that fucks with your head in so many ways as a woman when society is placing so much value on your body.
So in our Silver Flame season, we talk a lot about Nesta and how she handles and approaches women, not just mothers, but women and mothers. Like, we talk about her mommy issues quite a bit. And I feel like you can see one of the layers is SJM handling her own mommy issues of becoming a mother. Because to what degree is this internalized misogyny of thinking, oh, wow, I'm washed up, I'm done now that I've had my child. I'm not saying that every mother feels that, but I do see online people talking about when women become moms having to mourn the woman that they were before. And Nesta's own healing journey of accepting women and mothers, you can say it reflects quite a bit of SJM having her own, like, working towards her own feelings with becoming a mother.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think so. And I love the duality of Feyre and Rhys. And in a lot of ways, she's playing out the duality in herself, right? Of loving children, being, you know, obsessed with her children, but on the other hand, terrified of what it means to be pregnant.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of women who choose to not be mothers because they have body horror. Like, they can't reconcile what it means to be pregnant and what comes after, right? It's just they can't get past that barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. I feel bad. I feel like we called it. We called it all along. All right. Are there any comments that we need to look at? On Instagram, someone says, kind of continuation of this conversation is rocking my mommy issues. I say that because you don't know how much you have against motherhood when you don't want to be a mom and don't have that perspective.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
It is. On Patreon, Erin says, as someone who's also experienced many issues with mental illness, it was always very obvious to me reading Silver Flames and even Tower of Dawn that SJM has also experienced these things. So that was so validating to hear from her.
On Instagram, literally sobbed at this part, related so heavily to her. Definitely a newfound appreciation for Silver Flames. And another comment, becoming a mother is terrifying. I love my kids and I'm so good with them, but being pregnant and having my own kids is terrifying. I have body dysmorphia and being pregnant scares me.
Yeah. Ashlyn continues. Go ahead.
Sorry. She loves kids, not loves her kids. It seems like. Anyway, I agree. I understand.
Ashlyn carries on. And then we have to go right back to work after, pregnancy, giving birth. Forget about how little the child is, the trauma of birthing, both physically and mentally. It's because of the patriarchy. It's the same reason why they tell you an IUD doesn't hurt. It's because they don't have to put one in themselves.
I saw the most heartbreaking video. And it was a woman who was not even 6 weeks after birth. Like, maybe she was 6 weeks. Like, she was very soon after birth and found out she was pregnant. And she was sobbing to her husband saying, I told you. And he was like, I didn't know. And it's like, well, you did know because she told you and there's doctors. And she fucking told you. And her body was not ready. Her body was not ready for this. And you put her through it. And now it's like, there's a reason why they say, wait 6 weeks until you have sex again. And even then, of course, as a society, we would disregard women and mothers when we disregard them so much so at the beginning of their own journey of motherhood. When we don't have proper maternity leave, when we don't have proper aftercare, and we don't have proper help, then yeah, of course the society is going to say, fuck you moms. Like, it's bullshit. Yeah.
Tristan points out the death rate of POC mothers is even worse than the mortality rate. There's this misconception that people of color have a higher pain tolerance.
I know. I have a cousin who, when she's the same age as me, when she did her residency, they asked, who here thinks that people of color have a higher pain tolerance? And she was horrified by the number of people who raised their hands. And the fuck is that? Like, no. Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting. It's like, if you think it's bad for women, it's bad. It's horrible for women of color. It's a never ending cycle.
Yep.
That being said, let's look into our comments.
I don't plan on having kids. So when I read I put myself there. So when pregnant, it doesn't resonate. But because of that interview, I can realize how it can be beautiful and scary. I have a new appreciation.
That's beautiful. That
is.
Yeah. Instagram, someone says, not to mention they don't offer helping with caring for the infant during postpartum period. Yep. Another comment. I'd like to see a quiz on how many men have a shit pain tolerance. Right. But they all think that they have a great pain tolerance.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
they
other
do.
part.
There needs to be some sort of test. But the thing is it's such a biology thing, right? It's based on your receptors.
Yeah. Sam says on TikTok, it's not just motherhood, it's the power of surgeons. The surgeon who wrote on organs transplanted. Yeah. I mean, it's like at any given moment, we could be better though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like at any given moment, doctors, society can be better. That's how things were set up in the past. And that's how things were original. Like we got the original information from. Well, we now know that that's bullshit. And at any given second, we can all be better.
Mm-hmm.
And yet society chooses not to be. And that's the thing, that's where it's like, that's how it was in the past. It doesn't have to be now. We are going to so many book conventions the next couple months. And do I need a whole new wardrobe?
I think so, because I'm not prepared for weather in New York.
Honestly, I am not about the fast fashion. I am all about Quince and how they prefer quality over quantity.
Quince makes high-quality wardrobe staples using premium fabrics like 100% silk and organic cotton.
They even have a lightweight cotton cashmere sweater that's perfect for the changing seasons, especially in New York. And they have amazing spring colors, so I'll be able to be very versatile with all of the cute sweaters they have.
Quince clothing is consistently rated 4.5 to 5 stars by thousands of customers. Real people wearing these pieces every day actually love them. And honestly, they're better than some of my favorite expensive brands.
I personally love my boyfriend sweater that I got last year, and I still wear it all the time. And I'm sad that it's going to be warm, so I guess I'm going to have to find another sweater.
Stop waiting to build the wardrobe you actually want. You don't need a closet full of options. You just need pieces that work for you.
Right now, go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping and 365-day returns.
That's a full year to wear it and love it. And you will.
Quince is now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last.
Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk. I decided to start taking a GLP-1 because it was the final missing piece to my comprehensive wellness journey. Last year, my health was going to be my main priority. And for me, my wellness goals include energy, consistency, and long-term health. And Brello was able to bring a provider guidance that has made this process feel very supportive and legit.
What's so great about Brello is the focus is your long-term health. Your provider is committed to a sustainable approach to your wellness. Brello focuses on habits, education, and provides that structure for you to ensure that longevity along with provider oversight.
I've used other services before, and Brello is the only one that has their provider call me and actually talk to a real human being who is able to answer my questions. But beyond that, you also get access to an amazing private online community for support and accountability. Brello also has an easy-to-use app to track progress. It manages reminders and stays on top of renewals. Everything's managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and the medications are delivered to your door.
Brello has clear upfront pricing with one flat monthly cost. If you're approved for a GLP-1 plan, they start as low as $133 per month with a 3-month commitment.
Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
All patients must meet with a healthcare provider prior to any medication being prescribed or dispensed. Any medications ultimately dispensed to a patient will be done pursuant to a valid prescription from a healthcare provider. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved. FDA does not evaluate compounded products for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Compounded medications are not reviewed or verified by the FDA for safety, effectiveness, or quality and are not FDA approved. Not available in all 50 states.
We have some long emails.
I'm cozy.
All right. This is from Hannah, and this is specifically about the topic of Tamlin and Rhys. Oh, but it also goes into Silver Flame stuff. Okay, buckle in, folks. This is a long one. Okay, there has been so much discourse on Tamlin and Rhys, and as someone that works with trauma, I wanted to address this. I need to start with, of course, Rhys should have told her. This is Feyre about the pregnancy and the risk. I don't think anyone disagrees. And then I want to say, I think that it's very interesting to see all the different opinions from various people on how mad or understanding they would be if they were Feyre, etc. I'm going to kind of split this into two parts. One, Rhys and Tamlin are different. Rhysand's biggest issue is he hides things in order to try to help those he loves. Doesn't mean he should, but he does. He goes back on his word he gave Feyre in Mist and Fury about not keeping anything from her for a handful of weeks. Or a month or two, I forget. He doesn't tell her about the risks of pregnancy. The action of keeping a big secret about life and death is not okay. Anyone can feel how they wish on that. The reason is not an excuse. We hear Feyre say as much to Cassian, more or less. And let's not forget everyone kept it from her, not just Rhys. Did he have the biggest obligation to tell her? Yes. And Feyre says to Cassian, she is furious with all of you. I understand why you didn't tell me, but I'm furious. The wrongness of Rhys and him taking away her choice, which was what exactly? Rhys knew Feyre would rather die for her baby than get rid of it. And that doesn't seem like it was an option. For us, there's an option. And so we project that. But Rhys knew the choice and decided to try to fix it. And they should have tried to fix it together before Nesta told Feyre. But it really grinds my gears when people say Rhysand is as bad as Tamlin for that.
Yeah.
Tamlin, even in ACOTAR, didn't want to let Feyre get hurt and would have her guarded or watched beyond what she wanted, but she let him do it. And he always said that it was for her own good. I've been listening to ACOTAR again, and some of these things he says are like, girl, run. Tamlin consistently uses abuse tactics, especially in Mist and Fury. Does he mean to, quote unquote? No. Most people don't sit there and go, yeah, I'll use this tactic, evil laugh. What they do is manipulate to get what they want in whatever way they can that makes them feel good. Did Tamlin do what he did out of love? Sure. But even love can be toxic. It can be too much. Tamlin's own trauma from his family and Under the Mountain turned him into what he didn't want to be. And only when he saw Feyre was getting out of control did he loosen the reins, only for guards to return after a week with Rhys again. His patterns of not listening and not giving her any autonomy despite her pleas and saying he was doing it for her is so wildly different than Rhys. Rhys went back on his word once. Tamlin repeated the same pattern, didn't listen, flipped things on her, kept her down for the sake of an image, and locked her up. We should be almost just as pissed at Lucien for not getting her out. But we aren't, and Feyre forgives him too. Rhys and Tamlin are so different when it comes to their mistakes. Feyre was changed not just from Under the Mountain, but from Tamlin. We see it in Mist and Fury when she says things like, I was waiting for him to say no, that I should stay behind. That is a sign of abuse. Again, I'm not saying Rhys was right. Everyone knows he isn't. But to say he is just as bad is honestly wild to me. Point number 2, accountability.
Oh, wait,
this one is short.
Just talk about that first?
Sure.
It's like, we can do in halves. Yeah, it's a good freaking point. It did always bug me when people compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always without empathy for Rhys to be in that position to have, it's like SJM said, it's just as traumatic for him of an experience. Like, right. No one's arguing that, yes, like he should have kept it a secret. Like no one's saying that. But I think that there's a difference between going, yeah, no, that wasn't the right move. But also like I can have sympathy and empathy for that. And one move does not define your character, especially if it's like that. I don't want to say that for someone if he had hit her, then that's something else. But
yeah, I think what really hit home for me is when SJM was like, he might be 500 years old, but this is the first time he's had a mate. And this is the first time he's having a kid. And so, yeah, he's still going to make mistakes.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how old you are. If it's the first time you're doing something, you're likely to get it wrong. And I appreciated that. I think that was meaningful because, we do harp on Rhys sometimes, aka me and Jack harp on Rhys sometimes, but he deserves as much empathy as the rest, as Feyre, as Nesta.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You may continue.
Okay. This one is shorter. Accountability. Accountability matters. We don't see Rhys take accountability as it happens mostly off screen, save for Feyre telling Cassian that Rhys knows he was wrong. that was mostly about Nesta. For Tamlin, it's really Tampon, but her phone changed his name and she's keeping it.
No, that's what people call him.
I know. He always blames Feyre. Yes, he says it's what he saw happen to her, but that makes the victim feel like it's their fault. Even if it was Amarantha's fault. Feyre's reaction also matters. She's the one living it, so to speak. And I'm going to add SJM's mention of her friend on the podcast and how she's spoken with her about Tamlin. We should also be listening to the people who go through this kind of abuse. Not everyone has to like Rhys, but I think he's a better character for creating so much of this. You see him do something wrong, and then you have all these different opinions on it. Sorry for any typos or anything I missed.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the domestic abuse in the Tamlin
Listener?
Conversation?
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, were you thinking about the listener too?
I was thinking about the listener.
A couple years ago, we had a listener reach out saying that they were in a domestic situation with their husband and listening to the podcast. Like, she had come to the conclusion on her own, but was like, you know, an additional small step in her much larger journey that was all her and her strength alone, right? But she did reach out and sent such an incredible email, and she's an incredible woman. And then when, honestly, made me feel like when we were talking about like the Rowan punching Aelin thing, she came back and was like, "Hey, me again," and was like, you know, "Hey, like keep up the good fight." And then I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's bring that conversation back. The main story of it is that we know listeners who the Tamlin storyline and his character made them realize how abusive their partner was. And she's not the only person who have reached out and said that to us. And it makes sense why SJM would have heard similar things from other people.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's what I love about this listener. And I love the fact that she followed up, especially when we were a little down on ourselves in the podcast. You know, she said, you know, I learned a lot. And because of it, I divorced my husband. She's just doing amazing things. And she's so strong for going through something so hard. And she credits these characters for learning that.
I am one of the first people who is rooting for redemption arc with Tamlin. And you and I have always said redemption arc doesn't mean a happy ending. I don't necessarily want or need to see him with a mate living happily ever after. I would love to see him give his life to a greater good. But even with that comes consequences of saying, well, now this man who represents so many abusive partners that other people have experienced can be redeemed. So can they all be redeemed? Like, I appreciate SJM treating his character with the care that the whole conversation that he provided. Like, she treated him with the same respect. Like, she's not going in and just making things saying, well, you guys need to get on board with it.
Right. I think there's a lot of things that she's like, I'm the writer, these are my characters, and then my characters are going to do whatever they want. But, you know, she specifically said with Tamlin, I understand the weight of what happens to him and what that means for people. And I will be very careful with it. And I respect that. If anything happens to Tamlin, is it going to piss some people off? Probably, no matter what the outcome is. But I respect that she is taking the process seriously.
Agreed. Whether that means we're going to see it in the next 3 installments or not, who knows?
Shell says all of these characters have insane amounts of trauma, and without therapists, it's hard to condemn. They are all learning and growing.
Yep.
Colleen also rightly points out it wasn't only a death sentence for Feyre and the baby, but Rhys as well with the bargain. And I think it's easy to forget that because most of the characters, like, we experience Silver Flames from the point of view of Nesta and Cassian. And if you've had enough distance from Wings and Ruin and Frost and Starlight, you might have forgotten that Feyre and Rhys made this really stupid bargain where they go out together.
You go, I go. It's just rough way for them.
Yeah. Julianne says, I think redemption arc could be saving someone and then unaliving.
Yep.
Shell says, redemption would be good for some of the people who have had trauma like Tamlin and react in a toxic way to their own trauma. A lot of trauma victims become abusers, and breaking that cycle, even if he doesn't have a happy ending, would still be powerful.
SJM said that Rhys and Tamlin are there to also show Feyre how two people can handle trauma differently.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you and I said that they were always
powerful.
the same, two different sides of the same coin. They just handle it. We called that shit in season 2. The validation where I was like, we said that, damn it. We were right.
Yeah, earlier when you were like, I called it, Ashlyn was like, yes, you're right. She was validating you.
Thank you. No, I'm just happy. I'm like, I just don't to be this right for years. It just proves that our analysis works. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. It's like it's not just to do with our genius, but it's like analysis works when you take the time to think of what the author's trying to do.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to read a DM. This is from Morgan. I started to reply to your story, but then got cut off. LOL. So picking up here. I really loved the interview. I never watched an SJM interview before. I do have to say I felt really disheartened by the comments I was seeing about the way SJM was speaking, mostly in reference to her saying like a lot. Oh, they'd hate us.
Welcome to California.
I know, right? The comments on YouTube were dragging her, and it's just a reminder that women being women and talking like women will never be okay. I thought the interview was so sweet. I loved getting to see what felt like a true, genuine conversation about everything that has gone into the book series. I love so much. Like many, ACOTAR is what got me into reading. But out of all 3, I'm a Crescent City girly. Oh, interesting. Always fascinated by Crescent City girlies. Also, the comments I notice, the expectations of fans being that SJM immediately come out with a release date and being annoyed that she didn't. That's so fucking stupid if people were annoyed at like that. It's an interview to promote. Of course she would wait till the end. Mm-hmm. Overall, I'm super excited to read these new books. I wonder if we will get to see a crossover with Crescent City and the new ones. Another too long message, LOL. But looking forward to hear what you have to say. Looking forward going on this journey with you too. If people were shitting, women can't win. Women can't win.
And here's the thing, and I can say this because we have a podcast. You try fucking recording yourself for 2 hours and not saying like once. Actually, I really appreciated how little editing and scripting there was in this episode. There were a lot of There were ums that could have got cut as someone who edits.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
I'm sure there was editing, but I appreciated she just seemed like a real person, a real down to earth person who I could become friends with. And at the end of the day, she doesn't fucking owe us anything. She could stop writing.
Yeah. I just get so mad where think about when Taylor Swift was on the New Heights podcast. Do you think she's going to announce the new album in the beginning? You're going to do it at the end. If you genuinely thought that that was the first thing that she was going to announce and you're mad at it. Okay.
You don't understand marketing.
Yeah. If that's what you thought, I don't blame you. But if you were mad at it, you're just an angry person. Like that's the thing where I feel like fandom brings out the worst of people because it's people who get to latch on to something and then they take out their own resentment, their own anger, their own issues onto something that is so not related to them. But then they get to justify it saying, well, this means a lot to me. And it's like, you know what also means a lot to me? You shutting up. That means so much to me.
You know what AI could do? AI should chat back. Are you angry at someone in your life right now? Are you angry at the world? Maybe you shouldn't be chatting.
Go to betterhelp.com. Use promo code. We haven't been sponsored by BetterHelp, but that'd be a great one. Yeah, oh my God. People's selfishness will never cease to amaze me. We got a 2-hour-long interview. That's a long interview.
That is gold.
SJM doesn't do interviews like these. SJM does not. We have gone to these online ticketed events and she'll talk about things. This was the most casual. You got so much more information. We were gifted this time. And the privilege that people come about these things is disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's art that she is giving us. Yeah. Like you, Amy said, we are not owed that.
Yeah. She doesn't need to make more money, right? She's doing this because she loves it. She doesn't owe us that at all. And here's the other thing. She was so genuine. She was so raw. I mean, she made herself cry and tell us some really gruesome details about her life. She doesn't have to do that. Like, I think, and it's not a marketing ploy, right? That was her being open with us in a way we don't deserve.
Yep. And also when you're recording a podcast, yes, there might be cameras. Yes, there might be lights, but when you're vibing, you'd be amazed how much you block it out.
Mm-hmm.
I have several different lights on me. I have a camera on me.
You've got your
Once
phone.
you're talking, like I'm talking to Amy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you start talking, you really do block people out and block other things out. And she was genuinely having just a good conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm preparing to get married, which means I'm thinking a lot about what it means to merge finances. And I think I'm going with Chime.
Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people with products like MyPay, giving you access to up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Some of these old banks still don't do this.
We're at Romantasy BookCon, and I don't get paid for another 2 days. I could really use Chime right now.
I don't get paid for another 2 days too. I'm really sad it's not stopping me from buying everything, but it is also making me want to switch to Chime.
Because they don't have overdraft fees, minimum balance fees, or monthly fees.
You can also earn up to 3% APY on savings. That's 7 times higher than a traditional bank.
It's also rated 5 stars by USA Today for customer service because they have real humans 24/7.
And with the Chime card, it's the new way to build credit history with your own money and get rewarded every single day.
There's no annual fees, no interest, and no strings attached. Who can resist that?
Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/feesinfo. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
Sleep is important to everyone, but I am bipolar, and sleep is one of the most important things that I can do to protect not just my mental health, but my physical health. I always strive to get around 8 hours of sleep a night. Honestly, I have to shoot from 8 to 10 hours a night. And it is so important for me to know that everything in my body is helping me get that balanced sleep that I really need.
For me, the big shift was realizing that sleep isn't just about hours. It's the foundation for everything. Performance, mood, focus, recovery, even how you age.
The part that surprised me is that you can't fully understand your sleep without looking at your lab tests. If your sleep is off, your results will likely show it with elevated inflammation and shifts in glucose and cholesterol. And when sleep improves, that's going to show too.
That's what I appreciate about Function. It gives you real data so you know what's happening inside your body. Sleep isn't just a habit, it's biology. And if you want to look deeper to see whether you're improving it or troubleshooting how to improve it, you have to measure it.
I have my first appointment with Function to get my blood drawn for next week. What I did appreciate about it, though, is that they are making sure that it's coordinated around my period. They weren't just like, come here, give us blood. It was like, hey, let's make sure you get the best results possible.
Be like Jack and own your health. Start by understanding what's happening beneath the surface.
Function gives you access to 160 plus lab tests each year, including advanced markers for heart health, inflammation, stress, hormones, toxins, and more for $365 a year.
Learn more and join Function using our link. Visit www.functionhealth.com/booktalk or use gift code BOOKTALK25, that's BOOKTALK 25, for a $25 credit toward your membership.
All right, the next one. SJM speaking about how her experience informed her writing, her character growth, and would mirror her own was really impactful. I know a pregnancy trope can be big turnoff for some people, but that's a very real part of life. I hope readers view Farrah's pregnancy and birth scene differently now after hearing about SJM's ordeal and how writing it helped with processing that trauma. As a new mom myself, I'm very interested to see how those scenes may land differently now than they did the first time I read them years ago. There's someone that I know who, even if she heard that explanation, I don't think would still have like empathetic feelings necessarily and still would be like, well, you know what I mean? I imagine there still being fair amount of people walking away from this having not been touched and reached and having that empathy. And it makes me sad because I think that if you listen to something like her interview and you still had such a negative feeling, the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
This book isn't for you then.
Yeah. And go read something else. You can tell which authors really put themselves into their work and which don't.
Yeah.
And you love SJM's work because she puts herself into it.
The way that she was saying that she's been putting herself into her books for years and didn't realize it. And it's so clear now. Like I can't wait to see, you know, what was going on in her life, whether she tells us or not. But like, it's just fun to see that. You know, we ask writers to do their best writing a book. And every single writer will tell you, you need to write the book you love. Authors do not write books they don't like. Authors write the books they love. The book is for themselves. You have to act like no one's going to necessarily see it. It's the author's intention. It's their book. It's what they want to do with it. If it doesn't cater to you, that's too fucking bad. Then go get another book.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a lot of books out there.
Yeah. Go find another one. That doesn't have to be for you. Yeah.
One of the things that almost made me cry was the end of the episode when, you know, SJM's talking about writing. She writes for her joy. And
yeah, I thought of you.
Yeah. And you know, it really touched me because it did make me realize I loved writing so much as a teenager because I put so much of myself into it. And through my education and even through the podcast and trying to write multiple books, you know, I have multiple first drafts of various books. I don't love them because I'm not in them. And it makes sense why I can never get through the revision process because I don't have that connection. Yeah. And I'm in such awe of SJM and her vulnerability. And now that she realizes what she's doing, she's still willing to do it. Yeah. I think says a lot.
I feel like you could go when you do revise, you can easily put yourself in there. Doesn't mean scrap the whole thing.
No. It does mean going back and really doing the labor to embody it.
I always felt like it was a bad thing to say that like a character reminded you of yourself. And seeing SJM talking about it was like, well, actually, like my book, my FMC started because I was reading a scene and I was like, no, I would cry in this. No, I wouldn't be a badass. Like I am so all talk. Like I cannot throw a knife. I would cut myself and be so horrified that I cut myself and so grossed out that I wouldn't do it again. And my FMC is different than me, but like there's a lot of me in there and I felt wrong. Like I felt like that was the wrong move. And even as I'm writing it, I was always like, no, take me out of it. This isn't supposed to be me. And listening to SJM talk about it, it's like, well, actually, why wouldn't it have the author? Like, why wouldn't we want ourselves? We're constantly changing. One book you're never going to get the same character over and over because we're never the same person. It was freeing. It was definitely freeing.
It was very freeing.
All right. Email?
Yes.
This might have to be a two-parter.
I know. Shocker.
I think we might have to come back to do this. I mean, we keep going, but there's just a lot of comments and emails that we haven't even gone through.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this for 2 hours. I mean, I said we're going to get sushi after.
We're very, very motivated to eat sushi.
Erin, did I say your name correctly? Hope you both know that I still think about both of your books often and am engaged as a reader. Thank you.
Thank you.
I edit every day. I'm trying to get back into editing every day.
I need to too.
It's fun. Like I got through a hump and now SJM talking about finding joy in her writing was beautiful. And, you know, the fact that her therapist did like a very similar thing to what I've had a therapist do with the what if game the and game and, you know, so every single time she got where I was like, and like, what else happened? It would be that
also resonated. I also just appreciated, you know, therapy like us.
Talk about it. They're big fans of therapy. Talk about it. Be very open with it. Have no shame. I mean, that's one thing that like a fair amount of listeners have said that they started going to therapy after listening to us.
Oh,
yeah, I know. It's like, oh,
you guys are so much better than the rest of my family because they still don't listen to me.
Erin says it's my dream to get sushi with you both, as if we're already friends. My dream is to get sushi with everyone. I would love to get sushi with you.
So we're going to BookCon. In New York in April. We might be doing a listener meetup. We should go to a sushi place.
Or hear me out. I hate what I'm saying and I don't want it, but I've thought it, so now it has to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
We get a man wearing bat wings, shirtless, laying on the table, and we put sushi over his body.
So
and we take back the patriarchy. The people might want it. We don't know. We haven't read the comments. Like, you know, what if they do want that? No, I would hate to eat sushi off of someone's body.
Yeah. No.
But what
No.
if?
No. We
Daisy
are not
Ridley.
playing. No, not even then. I love Daisy Ridley.
Your fiance.
No, not even that. Well,
I didn't know. I'm like, what if she put it right on her boobs?
Okay, maybe.
Good. I'm like, I send her a text like, hey, we have an experiment. Where does Amy draw her line?
I reject. I have another very long email.
All right, let's do it. My God, someone says, can't believe the only times I catch these lives is when I return from clubbing at 3 a.m. I'm
oh my gosh. Amazing.
I love that for you and us.
Let me catch up on some TikTok comments.
Okay.
Wonderly says, I feel like I believe Tamlin, got a redemption when he helped save Reese with his be happy Feyre comment.
I agree.
So many people said she came off rude or aggressive. I think this is SJM. I don't know if it seemed like no, she was not rude or aggressive. That's how LA people speak, guys.
There was not a single moment did I ever think she was aggressive. If you thought she was aggressive, don't listen to this podcast. This is not the right podcast for you.
The amount of crap that she's gotten over the years is so wild. Yes.
It made me think of something. Keep going and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. Nikki says, I didn't even hear the in the interview until my sister complained about it. People have become extremely demanding, especially with the ability to have immediate access to a lot. I mean, this is like what TikTok has done to us, right? We only have a 5-second attention span and then we move on if it doesn't catch us. So all the people who are mad have fallen prey to social media.
Yeah.
Aaron says, I'm from the Midwest and I didn't find her aggressive or us aggressive at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So that aggressive comment triggered something in my head. SJM, she has the rights back to her books now.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked about like when she gets it done, it's going to be on her terms. Mm-hmm. She's going to be a big part of it. She's going to make sure that casting is done in a way where it gets the right person, not just the name and everything, because she's doing it for the reader, but also it's her legacy. Like it's true. Like she's not going to do this whole thing and then give it to someone else to go destroy her legacy. Like this is hers. She's allowed to have as big of a say in this as she wants. Another thing that's set up and people like to act like there's no wiggle room for it is the industry, the Hollywood industry, which Amy and I live in LA, and we have both heard rumors about her being difficult. We have heard people saying, oh, if she's described as difficult, she probably just wants to have a larger say in show running or in writing the script, which, okay, and?
Yeah, and she's entitled to that.
Yeah, it's her IP.
Yeah. Anybody who calls a woman who is successful difficult or a bitch probably just didn't like that she had an opinion, to be honest.
What she said about wanting to learn like screenplay writing and just getting the opportunity to learn confirms some of the things that I heard where they were like, you know, rumors in LA or so word gets around here very quickly and we're not even in the industry and we heard things. But basically she wanted to be a script writer, showrunner, and the response is immediately, well, you write novels, you don't do this, and you don't know what you're doing. So rather than saying, hey, you don't know what you're doing, but let's teach you. Like, here's why you can't just do X, Y, and Z. This is why you have to go and do this process. Rather than doing that, she probably just kept being told, well, you can't do that.
Yep.
That's not how you get it done. That's not the right way to do it.
Didn't J.K. Rowling write the scripts for Fantastic Beasts? Didn't she write the screenplay?
I believe so. But she was also given a lot of help and training over the years. Right.
And that's my point is anybody can do anything if you let them learn.
That was beautiful. That's true. That was gorgeous.
I'm sorry.
I'm not being sarcastic. I mean that genuinely. Like anyone can do anything if you just let them learn. I felt like that was very powerful. I was not being facetious.
And I say this in defense of her because, you know, she was getting super emotional about the rights and, you know, the question about the TV show development and whatnot. And it sounds like her inability to talk about it and, you know, her response, you've already made me cry once today, says that it's still very raw, that she probably has a lot of angst that she's experienced through that process. And in my mind, I was like, you take your time to heal so that I can be part of the process when you're ready.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here, Sarah. Sid makes a really good comment that recently Brandon Sanderson sold his Mistborn to become a movie.
Yeah.
A series, I think, under the regulation that he has absolute full control over every single thing. And when that was told, people were celebrating it.
Yep.
People were saying, oh my God, it's going to be done right. We're finally going to, like, he wanted every single facet. And yet when SJM has said over the years, I want it done right, she's then deemed as difficult.
Yep.
The double standards.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Fuck, marry, kill answers from you guys. Oh, from the FM. Okay. Yes. Fuck, marry, kill. Bryce Hunt Rowan.
Bryce Hunt Rowan?
Sorry. Reese Hunt Rowan. You just know what I mean.
Yeah. I know. I would marry Hunt, fuck Reese, kill Rowan.
We would both kill Rowan. Kill Rowan, marry Reese, fuck Hunt.
Okay. That's good. We're swingers.
Thank God. That works out well for us.
We have our priorities right about who marries who.
Yeah. And then we both kill Rowan together, so that works out well. We haven't done an FMK in such a long time.
Yeah.
Those were fun. Mm-hmm. Remember when we used to ask people that? The thing is, we used to have a lot more unhinged mini episodes, and those were fun because we were unhinged, but now we have a system and we don't get as unhinged.
Might I suggest, nobody hold me accountable for suggesting this. Now that we can stream on all platforms, we can have more unhinged stuff happen.
Yeah.
On lives.
It's true. All right. So, goodbye. Love you guys.
Shall we do an outro?
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Stick around for our continuation of today's episode tomorrow, I think.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini episode or in a Patreon exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle booktalkforbooktalk. And don't forget to join us by subscribing to the Subtext Society Journal.substack.com to get more insights into the romantasy and romance world.
Bye.
Bye.
We are going to so many book conventions the next couple months, and do I need a whole new wardrobe?
I think so, because I'm not prepared for weather in New York.
Honestly, I am not about the fast fashion. I am all about Quince and how they prefer quality over quantity.
Quince makes high-quality wardrobe staples using premium fabrics, like 100% silk and organic cotton.
They even have a lightweight cotton cashmere sweater that's perfect for the changing seasons, especially in New York. And they have amazing spring colors, so I'll be able to be very versatile with all of the cute sweaters they have.
Quince clothing is consistently rated 4.5 to 5 stars by thousands of customers. Real people wearing these pieces every day actually love them. And honestly, they're better than some of my favorite expensive brands.
I personally love my boyfriend sweater that I got last year, and I still wear it all the time. And I'm sad that it's going to be warm, so I guess I'm going to have to find another sweater.
Stop waiting to build the wardrobe you actually want. You don't need a closet full of options. You just need pieces that work for you.
Right now, go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping and 365-day returns.
That's a full year to wear it and love it. And you will.
Quince is now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last.
Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk. I decided to start taking a GLP-1 because it was the final missing piece to my comprehensive wellness journey. Last year, my health was going to be my main priority. And for me, my wellness goals include energy, consistency, and long-term health. And Brello was able to bring a provider guidance that has made this process feel very supportive and legit.
What's so great about Brello is the focus is your long-term health. Your provider is committed to a sustainable approach to your wellness. Brello focuses on habits, education, and provides that structure for you to ensure that longevity along with provider oversight.
I've used other services before, and Brello is the only one that has their provider call me and actually talk to a real human being who is able to answer my questions. But beyond that, you also get access to an amazing private online community for support and accountability. Brello also has an easy-to-use app to track progress. It manages reminders and stays on top of renewals. Everything's managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and the medications are delivered to your door.
Brello has clear upfront pricing with one flat monthly cost. If you're approved for a GLP-1 plan, they start as low as $133 per month with a 3-month commitment.
Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
All patients must meet with a healthcare provider prior to any medication being prescribed or dispensed. Any medications ultimately dispensed to a patient will be done pursuant to a valid prescription from a healthcare provider. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved. FDA does not evaluate compounded products for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Compounded medications are not reviewed or verified by the FDA for safety, effectiveness, or quality and are not FDA approved. Not available in all 50 states.
I'm preparing to get married, which means I'm thinking a lot about what it means to merge finances. And I think I'm going with Chime.
Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people with products like MyPay, giving you access to up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Some of these old banks still don't do this.
We're at Romantasy BookCon, and I don't get paid for another 2 days. I could really use Chime right now.
I don't get paid for another 2 days too. I'm really sad it's not stopping me from buying everything, but it is also making me want to switch to Chime.
Because they don't have overdraft fees, minimum balance fees, or monthly fees.
You can also earn up to 3% APY on savings. That's 7 times higher than a traditional bank.
It's also rated 5 stars by USA Today for customer service because they have real humans 24/7.
And with the Chime card, it's the new way to build credit history with your own money and get rewarded every single day.
There's no annual fees, no interest, and no strings attached. Who can resist that?
Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.